Welcome to the Meditation Podcast. You can find all our episodes on meditationpodcast.org. We're also on BitChute as Meditation Podcast. I also have the Speaking Podcast, the Learn Polish Podcast, the Crypto Podcast, and all can be found on roycoughlan.com. Today, my guest, please welcome Chancellor Jackson.
Hey, balance and blessings, everybody.
So I know you've got an interesting story. Basically, you're best-selling author, you've got a book, 14 Days in Beijing. So I suppose you'll have to go back to the very start and let me know what's it all about.
All right, so long story short, 14 Days in Beijing is about my experience being locked up abroad for 14 days. And it's pretty much the entire incarceration process, which was a total of 14 days long. I give bits and pieces of my time in China prior to getting arrested, but it's mainly just those last 14 days. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm locked up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, of 15 people to one cell, 9 wooden beds. We get 3 meals a day. Each meal is some form of soup, and bread rolls. And yeah, for 14 days straight, all I had was one bowl and one spoon. Also, when you read, I don't receive any information about what my process is supposed to be, or you know what I'm saying, how everything's gonna play out. I'm not even told how long I'm gonna be there. But you read within the story, like from the other characters, oh, you know what I'm saying, they got all the information, they know how long they're supposed to be there, you know what I'm saying? Their situation is completely different as far as just how their incarceration process worked. And also, there's also some folks whose is drastically different as well. So it's like it's very interesting to see how just the law enforcement works and how they facilitate their penitentiaries without a doubt. But yes,
And
it is
like, have you ever been in prison before? Have you been incarcerated? No.
not at all. Not at
Okay,
all.
so I suppose how did you get to China? What was the reason behind going over to China?
So after I graduated college in 2018 with a bachelor's degree in communication and media studies, I landed my first job over there in China, but I was teaching English to children, ironically, you know what I'm saying? So I was in a field that I definitely wasn't studying or, you know what I'm saying, preparing for. It's just how things work, you know what I'm saying? You go to
That's what my
college.
daughter's doing at the moment. She's teaching 4-year-olds in Dubai or Abu Dhabi. So yeah,
Okay, yeah.
it's just what people do. They do the qualifications and then they go away for a year or two to get some experience and come back. So I get it. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. That's the same type of time I was on. So I was just like, hey, teacher brought to China. That sounds kind of cool for sure. And up until this point, I had been applying for jobs for like 8 months straight, applying, getting interviews, getting flown out for the interviews, all different types of stuff. And these were all for corporate positions. So I didn't land nothing. You know what I'm saying? I kept getting the same reason behind them telling me no, I was to experience you know what I'm saying? Da, 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 da. But it's like y'all knew that before we even set all this up. When I applied, y'all looked at y'all can tell that. So the fact that that's the excuse y'all giving me, hey, I just took it as a sign from the universe that hey, this isn't it. This isn't it. It's something better in store. Just keep going, keep trying, keep pushing, keep searching. You know what I'm saying? You'll come
That's all
across.
you can do. We call it in Ireland. I remember when I finished college, I had bundles of, we call them Dear John letters. It's like, thank you, but no thanks. And there's nothing you can do. You just say next. It's just a numbers game, next. And what can I do to get some experience? It's just part of the game, unfortunately.
So yeah, that was pretty much it. So first job to tell me yes after 8 months of applying was on the other side of the world. So I'm like, well, it's a no-brainer at this point. Let me go see what China wanna rock with me. Hey, let's see what China has to offer then. You know what I'm saying? Because America ain't trying to do nothing with me. So let me see what China's talking about. And China was amazing. You know what I'm saying? Prior to the last 14 days, China was the ultimate experience, ultimate adventure. Man, it was like no other. Honestly, I had a lot of fun, met a lot of great people, experienced a completely different culture than which I come from. You know what I'm saying? Um, but all in all, man, it was a vibe. I miss it dearly. I can't wait to live abroad again, to try, especially travel abroad. Oh my goodness. Pandemic came and shut everything down. So man, I had so many countries lined up I was supposed to visit once I got back, but whenever we get back to normal, then, you know what I'm saying, I'll be back on it. For sure.
So, and did you see the Great Wall of China? Did you do all the touristy things? And did you experience any kind of racism? Because lots of people talk about the Chinese. They're very rich. I mean, my experience. I haven't been to China, but my experience with Chinese people is they're beautiful. They're really nice people.
They are very nice people. Very nice people. Some of the best customer service you'll ever receive in your life. Like, you know what I'm saying? They excellent customer service. They really go above and beyond. And sometimes I say you experience racism, but it isn't like just like pure like hate and malice in their hearts. You know what I'm saying? It's really just a lack of understanding of you, your people and your culture, and just straight up ignorance. You know what I'm saying? They just have no clue about any group of people and their culture, and you know what I'm saying, just about their history, honestly. And we the same here in America. You know what I'm saying? America's a melting pot, but I guarantee you, most of the Americans don't know nothing about the Hispanic culture, the Latin culture, the Asian culture, European culture, the African culture. They don't know nothing about none of that. You know what I'm saying? We always just know we got stereotypes, and we just let them dictate our opinion on people. So it's like you experience that anywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? So I never really experienced any, you know what I'm saying, just harsh racism like you would in the South of America. But yeah, the Chinese people are very, 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 very nice, very genuine people. And China is a very disciplined country, strict country. So with that being said, the people of China, like, they move with order and conduct. You know what I'm saying? They ain't like America. Folks just, you know what I'm saying, just be wilding off the walls. You know what I'm saying? Just be doing a bunch of just crazy. You know what I'm saying? China's one of the safest places you can be.
And did you notice, or were you aware of the social security system that they have with all the cameras, and that they basically, the vetting that, if you're not a good boy as such, they don't allow people not only fly, but they don't even allow them on trains and stuff. Were you aware of that when you were there?
Oh, yeah, they taught us all of that once we got there. Like, we were still going through training and stuff. And it's literally like once we landed in China, like, they scan your entire handprint into the system. They take your whole identity as soon as you land and you touch down.
That sounds like America to me, because every time I went there, they're taking my fingerprints and they're taking my retina, and I feel like a prisoner going into the country, and I don't enjoy. You get off the plane, you're queuing up, you're queuing up over an hour to get into the States. Like I remember going to New York and California and everything, and it was painful. Like and they were actually aggressive, because at one stage I was going to California, but I had to stay in New York for not even a night. It was kind of like flying again at 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. So I didn't know where I'm supposed to write down on the document where I'm supposed to stay, because it's like, tell us where you're staying. So I said, do I write down New York, or do I write down where I'll be for 3 or 4 days? And when I asked the question, your one just barked at me, started screaming at me, and told me go to the back of the line. And I was like, I didn't. I just went up to somebody else and I said, look, there's no point in me going back to the back of the line, because I still don't know the answer. And he started to but it was, it was really nasty. And that's the experience of a lot of people. You weren't aware of that, but anyone I know, they don't enjoy traveling into the States, because we're treated like convicts just trying to get in there, on a holiday,
And that's the type of experience people from America have no clue about. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't even travel outside of our own country, yet alone our own specific states and cities that we, derive from. So it's just exposure and experience, and that's why I say traveling is so important, because you learn so much. But yeah, that's crazy though.
No, exactly. But one thing about the traveling is you realize, because we're kind of fed a lie on the media and social media and everything, people are beautiful around the world. There's only a tiny fraction of people that are nasty, and that's all we see because the news thrive on negativity. But the reality is, you can go to any country and they're open with welcome hands. I mean, I've been in a load of countries, 30 or 40 countries. There's nowhere that I'd say, oh, I don't like this. People are lovely everywhere. It's just, it's portrayed wrong by, the corrupt media.
Definitely. I've only been, you say you've been 30, 40. I only been to 3. You know what I'm saying? So I still got a long way to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's good. Yeah.
Been to London twice, but I was a kid when I went, so it was still a vibe. As a kid, it was still a vibe. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to experience it again as an adult. You know what I'm saying? And with my experience already traveling and living abroad, so I already know it would be a vibe now. And I've been to the Bahamas a few times as well, and that was mainly on cruises. So, but definitely, that's why I got to hit. I got to do some more traveling. I got to some more world.
But just stay out of prison, yeah.
Oh yeah. For sure.
So tell me what happened. I mean, you're there. You were working as a teacher at that stage, yeah. So what was the whole process that ended you up behind bars?
So pretty much, like literally, as soon as you start reading 14 days, the action, we get straight to the action. You know what I'm saying? I don't really sugarcoat it. Ain't no like slow start. Now we get straight into it. Because chapter 1 is literally day 1. So the first day, day 1 is when everything pops off. So I'm finna get ready to go to this team builder event that my company that I was working for was throwing. And so before I, I head out to the event, because we're supposed to be decorating, the Chinese fans, we're supposed to be customizing our own. So I'm like, okay, that sounds like a little vibe. That sounds dope. So I'm like, before I go, I'm finna pregame before I go. And those that don't know what pregame means, like I'm finna get drunk, I'm finna get a little faded before I head to the event. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in my apartment. I'm sipping a wine cooler and I'm smoking some cannabis at my little pipe. And I get done. You know what I'm saying? I'm cross-faded. I'm good. I'm getting dressed to go. Once I got everything, I'm just about ready to go. Here, knock at the door. I'm like, who was that at the door? You know what I'm saying? I guess ain't unfamiliar for sure. So I'm just curious who popped up on me. Look through the peephole. It's 3 on the other side of the door. It's 3 officers from the Beijing police. I'm just like, oh shit. Oh shit. So you know what I'm saying? Scramble to put everything up. And they have shown up to my apartment before. You know what I'm saying? The police do random checks on foreigners, and they mainly just want to check your documentation just to prove that you are who you say you are. You're not over here illegally. You know what I'm saying? So that, and they did that in January. So all this happened in April 2019. So they have came up.
And when they come prior to that, they just come in and they're kind of, they're not aggressive or anything. They're not searching your stuff. They just say, show me your documentation. Yeah.
They stand at the door. It's just like, hey, we just want to make you see your paperwork. All right, y'all good. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going about your day. It didn't happen to me. It happened to coworkers of mine. So I'm like, okay, I guess they just do this random check more than once. That's the impression I'm under. But no, not the second time. Not the second time. So once I put everything up, open the door, they walk straight in. They walk straight into the apartment. And he's speaking to me, but of course there's a language barrier. I know a little bit of the language, just enough to move and groove, but how we sit there having an in-depth intellectual conversation, nah, I can't do that. Mandarin, nah, I can't. But so I'm just looking at him crazy. He can tell that, okay, there's a language barrier. So he speaks to his translator app on his phone, and he shows me the message, and the message says, are you on drugs? And I'm like, in my head, yes, but that I'm like, how do you that's just strange. That's the first thing that's coming at your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, but of course, I'm lying. Nah, bro, you tripping. What you getting that information from? Nah, bro, you passport? You trying to see my passport? That's what you got to be here for, bro. You trying to check my passport. And then he's speaking to his app again, and hey, it says, are there any drugs in the house? And I'm just like, bro, no. No, I'm still lying my ass off. I'm like, nah, bro, what type of time is you on? Where we get what? So Long story short, they ended up drug testing me right there on the spot. And as soon as they put the drug test out, I was like, oh man, it's over with. I had just got done smoking before, like 3 minutes prior to y'all knocking on my door. I'm like, ain't no way I'm passing this. Do the drug test, fail it, of course. And that's pretty, you know what I'm saying? They arrest me after that.
And
And
were you smoking out on the balcony by any chance?
I was in my apartment.
Maybe it was a neighbor,
Supervisor.
because I don't know what it's like there, but I just know from a friend in Singapore, and I know it's kind of different jurisdiction, but it's still kind of similar, that even you don't wear a mask on, they're just ratting you out the whole time. So I'm just wondering, did a neighbor smell it? Because it is, I know it's legal in a load of parts of the States. It's legal in Holland, and it's starting to, I don't see anything wrong with it, to be honest with you, but I'm assuming it's illegal in China. Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah. So, so there's a possibility somebody, grassed you out. Like, that's.
And I was saying, it's like, and that's still a mystery. Like, you read the whole 14 days and I still get asked. So like, what made them come to your apartment? I'm like, bro, that is still a mystery to this day. I have no clue. Cause it wasn't like this my first time smoking while I was out there. I was smoking the whole time I was out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, that's why I'm like, bro, I don't know, bro. It's still a mystery to this day.
I just, because I don't know about the story, so I'm going to be throwing the questions, because I don't know where you were getting it, but perhaps with all their cameras everywhere, they were seeing you getting it and coming back, and you were being traced from the whole source when you had it.
Probably, you know what I'm saying? Probably, for sure. Yeah, ain't no telling, to be honest. I'd love to know, just because I'm like, that probably made the story even better if I would be able to at least, you know what I'm saying? Like, be able to connect that dot, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so they arrested me, took me to one precinct.
And did they put cuffs on you when you were in your apartment?
Yeah, they but they were so cool. Like, they were so cool about it. They was like, hey, you need to finish getting dressed. Anything else you need to grab before we leave? I'm like, I'm like, nah, ironically, I was getting ready to leave before y'all knocked on my door. So I'm really ready to go. Unfortunately, I'm ready to go. So they was like, okay, man, turn around. I'm like, damn, man, I gotta put the cuffs on me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? We ain't on that type of time, bro. It's all peace. But I'm like, hey, just be compliant. You know what I'm saying? Follow orders. Um, put me in handcuffs, take me to the first precinct. We was only there not even an hour, and then we get back in the van. I'm like, okay, so where we
And when you went to the precinct, because I just want to try and get into this, did they have a translator there, and were you kept on your own, or were you treated okay when you were brought to the precinct?
Still in the apartment. It was 3 officers that came initially, and then as time progressed, next thing you know, it's probably like 5, 6 officers in the apartment. And one of them happened to speak English, so that's one I'm talking to mainly, and he's just questioning me about where I get the weed from. He just wanted to know who's the source. That's all he wanted, and to see if I was gonna give up any information in regards to that. Once he realized that I wasn't gonna give him any information to work with, they were like, okay, just come on. You know what I'm saying? Just come on with it. You know what I'm saying? But after that point, like after they slapped the cuffs on me, I ain't received no more information after that. I'm just going with the flow and following orders and seeing what's gonna happen.
And what was going on in your head at that time? Were you shitting yourself or what?
I'm just holding myself accountable. Honestly, just like, hey, well, shit, bro, you knew what you was doing, and there's the repercussions from it. So it's just like, I know I'm gonna be good. I know I'm gonna be good. Deep down in my spirit, I'm like, I'm gonna be fine. I just don't know what's gonna happen, how this is gonna play out. But it's just like, hey, bro, I can't hold yourself accountable. Um, take note of every minor detail, because I know it's gonna be a great story. It's all in my head. It's all in the book. Say, take note of every minor detail, because it's gonna be a great story to tell one day. And shit, bro, just enjoy this high one last time. Just enjoy this high, because I was still faded. I'm still high as fuck. So I'm just like, hey, bro, just enjoy this shit, bro, because hey, you know what I'm saying? He'll tell him what's gonna happen. So I'm a positive person. So it's just like, despite how negative things may be going, it's like, hey, man, just a positive mindset will take you far, for sure, for sure. So I'm just, hey, man, just look. I'm just trying to look at it from a positive standpoint. So at the first precinct, I'm just sitting down like it's like typical like you see in American movies. Like they just brought the fresh arrest in. They set them down in the chairs. You got the officers on desk duty doing administrative work and stuff like it's typical, that typical scene. But I'm the only American, only foreigner in the, you know what I'm saying, in the precinct. So of course all eyes on me. Um, but I was like, we weren't even there that long. They came and got me again. Get back in the van. So where we going now? Get to another precinct a little bit further away. Um, this time they had me change clothes and put me in a holding cell for real, for real. And then that's in that precinct. They conducted my interrogation, which is interesting because they sit me down in like this metal chair, like it's all metal, but it looks like an electric chair, and it straps in. It locks your legs, like your ankles, knees, waist, chest, and arms all in one place like this here. So I'm just sitting.
You were looking for the fuse box. We had to make sure they weren't going to fry you.
Man, I'm doing this entire interrogation just like this here. And by that time, I had plenty of time to come up with a story to, you know what I'm saying, give them and stuff. So, do the interrogation. After interrogation, they pretty much take my handprint and mugshot and stuff, and then throw me back into the holding cell. And I was in that second precinct for about 14 hours.
And was that on your own? Were you in the cell on your own?
Oh no. It was 8 holding cells in total, 4 on each side. The first 2 on your left were strictly women. Every other one was males. So they took me to the third one on the left, and I can't even remember how many. It was a few of us in there for sure. I say at least 10. And ironically, because they gave me a red vest to put on, and I was the only one I was handcuffed. And I'm looking around the holding cell, and nobody else except for one other person, and he's sitting right across from me. He was a young Chinese dude. I say under 21 years old. Like he was a young cat. He got a red vest on as well, and he's handcuffed. Everybody else though have neither. So I was just like, I wonder what this red vest mean, and why me and him the only ones handcuffed. I'm just like, hey,
That's actually dangerous in itself, isn't it? If anybody, attacks you, like
I'm just going with the flow. I'm just like, hey man, just account. At the end of the day, I have to hold myself accountable. So it's really ain't no point of beating myself up about it. You know what I'm saying? Just like, hey, bro.
Did anybody speak English in the cell, or were you just
quiet? I'm just all in my head. The whole first chapter is just all in my head. So really, the first 3 chapters is just all in my head because I'm the only English speaker, only foreigner, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just all in my head. And so after, I guess they was processing, doing all the paperwork and stuff. So by the time they finished all of that, they called me from the holding cell and they give me my clothes back. Tell me to get dressed. I'm like, oh shit, boy, I'm finna get ready to go home, boy. They finna let me go. I bet. So I get back dressed, and then I'm just waiting in the lobby just for orders again, and they tell me to come through a door that's behind the front desk. So I walk through the door, and I'm in a hallway. And at the end of the hallway, I see a small room that's crowded with officers. So they just had me follow them to the room. So we just walking. Once I get in there, I realize, okay, this is the evidence room. They got TV screens and, you know what I'm saying, all different types of stuff. So I'm like, okay, I see everything that they confiscated from my apartment on the table, along with a DVD. You know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming they done made a physical copy of everything that happened. Along with the weed I had, and yeah, so they weighed the weed I had up. I only had 1.4 grams. For those that don't know, that's like, we talking about maybe, man, I don't even know. Like that's not a lot at all. You know what I'm saying?
Home use.
It's not a lot at all. So they give me this contract and had me sign and fingerprint it. Everything is in Chinese character, Mandarin character. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know what this talking about, but So here I go, you know what I'm saying? Y'all say jump, I say how high. You know what I'm saying? I sign, fingerprint the document, and then we get back in the van. So I'm like, okay, so where are we going now? I'm paying attention to the street signs. We on the interstate, so I'm paying attention to all the signs. I'm like, nah, I ain't been out here that long, but I can just feel in my spirit. I'm like, bro, we not anywhere close to where I stay. We're not going nowhere close to my location. And about like 40 minutes later, we arrive at this facility bordered by tall walls and barbed wire. I was like, oh. I'm like, oh, okay. I see what's going on now. I thought it was over. I'm like, nah, hell no, we just getting started for real.
And nobody said nothing to you. The guy that spoke English was gone at this stage. There's
Oh, yeah,
nobody there's nobody speaking English all this time.
One of the officers that was driving me to the actual jail, um, he spoke English, but it was very, very broken. And the only thing he asked me was, "Do you like China?" I was like, "Yeah, I like China." He said, "Why do you like China?" I said, "The people are nice." And that was it. That was all the conversation we had. That was it. And I genuinely meant that though. I'm like, bro, yeah, I like China. And it was like, man, like the people, y'all make it's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have thought it would have been this harmonious out here. You know what I'm saying? But so yeah, we get into the actual jail facility, go to the nurse's office, do all the tests and stuff, make sure, you know what I'm saying, I ain't got nothing. Um, and then take me to change my clothes, give me the uniform, which is it's a jacket. Top half is yellow with red Chinese characters right here on your chest, left chest plate. Red Chinese characters on the back, and the bottom half is blue. Um, and they gave me blue sweatpants and blue sandals, and they had um shelves, and on the shelves was plastic bowls, like Tupperware bowls, and plastic spoons. Told me to grab one of each. So I get, you know what I'm saying, put my uniform on, grab a bowl and grab a spoon, and I follow the correctional officer up to the second floor, and we got to cell 209. And he opened that door, and literally all I see is immediately I see two people standing up. Well, it's at this point it's like 4 a.m, so folks are asleep. I see two people standing up watching the people that are asleep. Two inmates standing up watching the people that are asleep, and the rest of the inmates are lying down on wooden bunks. Like these are wooden beds, like just straight wood. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I like to describe it as if, like back in the day, way back when you was a kid, if you ever had a big slumber party, a big sleepover at somebody's house, you know what I'm saying? All your friends, or cousins, or family, or you play travel ball. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of y'all, but it's a limited space to sleep. So it's like everybody, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta, you know. So imagine that, but it's a bunch of random grown men. So that's all I'm seeing. I'm just like, whoa. And of course, I'm the only foreigner. Uh, so you know what I'm saying, those that are awake, all eyes on me, like, like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like they just seen Michael Jordan or somebody. um, so I walk in, just close the door.
Did they take your handcuffs off, or were you handcuffed at this stage?
Oh yeah, I'm free by this point. I ain't had no handcuffs on at this point. So yeah, I walk in the cell and I'm just looking at the cell. It's a big rectangle. You know what I'm saying? It's not that big, like far as it ain't like ample amount of room for everybody to, you know what I'm saying, have their own space. No, it's big rectangle, spacious enough to house 15 people, but that's pretty much about it. Um, it's 9 wooden beds along the right side of the cell, all connected. They all have like cubbies up underneath them. Um, the bathroom is to the left. The walls are glass, so you can see straight into it. We got a sink, of course. The toilet is a squat toilet. You know what I'm saying? So you got to squat over. And the shower is pretty much a water hose with a shower head tied to it. You know what I'm saying? Black mold all on the walls of the bathroom, little gnats and stuff flying. Um, And so I posted the bunks, and one of the inmates that's standing taking watch, like I guess he just tapped some folks to make room for me, and they made room for me. I just laid down, and I'm just like, damn. I'm just like, damn, boy, this shit is real. Like I'm in here for real now. I still don't know. I have no clue what's gonna happen, but hey, man, this shit crazy, bro. I'm like, let's just try to. I ain't trying to be too hard on myself, but I'm still holding myself accountable. Like, damn, boy, damn, like, like I just couldn't. I'm still in disbelief at this point. Like, damn, bro, this shit really happening to me, and just like, why me out of all people? You know what I'm saying? Even though I consciously knew I was doing something I should not have been doing for sure, and I wasn't. It wasn't like I was the only one out there doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was really just curious, because I'm like, bro, out of everybody, especially people that have been out here longer than I have, the ones that introduced me to it, I'm like, why me out of all people? So I knew, I'm like, it's happening to me for a reason. For sure, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no coincidence. I'm like, it's happening to me for a reason. I don't know what it is I'm supposed to take away from this experience, but I know at the end of the day when it's all said and done. You know what I'm saying? But for now, hey man, just try to get you some rest, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's all. Yeah, that's pretty much the bulk of chapter 1 and just the very beginning of chapter 2 that I just sat there and described. So it's a very
Was there any abuse or bullying from the other
uh,
inmates? No. Ah, but that's
they
good. Like, I mean, that's a good positive.
they
Like, and
were cool. Like they, you know what I'm saying? The next day, so everybody up now. So everybody see me, they like, damn, well, you know what I'm saying? Who is this? Like, you know what
where'd
I'm saying?
he
So
come from?
exactly. But it's a language barrier. So they so intrigued to learn more about me. And I'm like, I'm definitely interested in knowing y'all story, how y'all ended up in here. But we can't even communicate. We can't communicate. So it's just like, damn, bro. I'm just really just in my head in first 3 days. Like I'm just in my head just because I can't communicate with nobody. It was only one person in that cell that I was able to communicate with. And it wasn't like he knew a decent amount of English. You know what I'm saying? We just was able to communicate just through miming and body gestures. And I learned so much about this man. Like, you know what I'm saying? He cause he really was only like 2-3 years older than me. Got kids, got a wife, you know what I'm saying? What he do, you know what I'm saying? Like what he can't wait to do when he get out. Like I'm learning all this information, but I can't even verbally communicate with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely like a spiritual connection there, because it's like, and I'm just like, man, it's crazy, bro. I'm like, I must have known this man in the past life or something, because for our spirits to just, and he was really looking out for me, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, sit down next to me, bro. Like, he's showing me, like, we got this breakfast, so it's it's this it's pretty much a vegetable. It looked like
Do you
uncooked
go
hash
into a
brown.
different room for your, or were they serving you in the cell?
Oh no, you don't leave that cell
Mm.
24 hours. You don't leave that. You don't leave it. 24 hours. They bring all the food to us. You know what I'm saying? The chefs go around the cell, just dropping it off to each cell. So like he was just, you know what I'm saying? He's just showing a lot of love, like just looking out for me. And like I consider him my representative. And then as time progresses, he was like, hey bro, he's like, hey, I'm your Chinese brother. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we definitely bonded very, very well. Um, but he ended up getting released on my third day, and that's the last time I ever spoke or saw him again. Um, and then after that, because on that third day, like it was 15 people to the cell, right? So 12 people got released on my third day. So it's literally on 3 of us left in the cell. So I'm like, bro, what are they finna do with us? I know they ain't finna just leave us in this entire cell, just the 3 of us by ourselves. And a few minutes later, as I'm thinking that, they come get us. I'm like, okay, we finna get ready to go. Like, what, we finna let us go? Walk me 2 cells down and open that motherfucker. I'm like, damn. Damn. And I'm like, bro, I don't feel like getting used. I'm like, damn, I got into new cell. I got to go through this whole process again. You know what I'm saying? Walk in. First person I see is big. He looks European. Big dude. I'm talking about he about 6'3", about 250 pounds. We're not allowed to lie down during the day. He's lying down on the bunk, cooling. He got scabs and scars all on his face, like he just got to fighting recently. I make eye contact with him, and I look away. I look away. I'm like, but this man look crazy as hell. I don't know. I ain't feeling, man. I'm like, man, I got it. My head down at this point. I'm like, bro, I got to go through this whole process again. And as I'm walking into the cell, it's still the same setup. They have, it's a little bit more detailed as far as just like the supplies that they have. Like they got a lot more supplies in here, toilet paper and stools, and it's art on the wall. I'm like, okay, it's a different vibe for sure. But it's like, damn, bro, I'm still here. Like I'm still here. And then next thing I know, I just hear, hey man. I just look up. I'm like, who the fuck just said that? And it was a Chinese American dude from California. Man, me and him hit it off. So I'm talking to him like, damn, boy, that's crazy, boy. Man, I didn't think I'd be able to, you know what I'm saying, communicate with anybody. Like, so I'm chapping with him. So I'm sitting there talking to him. And then as I'm talking to him, dude next to me, he says, hey, my name is Victor. I'm like, oh, we need some party in here. Okay, it's some folks that speak English. Okay, so you got Chinese American Lenny. He's been locked up there. You got Victor, he's Brazilian from Brazil. And they both, Lenny, the Chinese American, he's fluent in Mandarin and English, of course. Victor, he speaks Portuguese, English, and he can speak a little bit of Mandarin too. He's Mandarin's way, he can hold a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? So now that's when there's things in the story, it's a shift. Because now it's like all the questions that I was pondering and just, you know what I'm saying, the guessing, and I'm getting answers to now. And the dots are starting to be connected slowly but surely. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting better understanding of just how this process works and what potentially could be my outcome. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And just like for the rest of the duration of time, you know what I'm saying, they ended up folks leaving, folks coming, you know what I'm saying, and experiencing different characters and shit, man, as you just learn about the different stories of all those men that was in there. Some of them, you would like, bro, that sound like some shit that you would see in a movie, bro. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, you can't go back to your country because you got into it with your government and folks want you dead, but now you here, but you locked up, and it's like, what? Like, like what? It's like, damn. So and it's like, man, my situation could be a whole lot worse. For sure, for sure. Like, even though I'm here, I don't know what's gonna happen to me. I don't know what's gonna come. I ain't received no information. But shit, as of right now, my situation looking a whole lot better than some of y'all's, you know what I'm saying? And ironically, when it was all said and done, I ended up doing the least amount of time out of everybody that's included in my story. I did it, and I ain't received no information. Everybody else knew how long they was goddamn supposed to be there and all this, that, and the other. I did end up doing the shortest amount of time. You know what I'm saying? So,
and did you had no correspondence with the authorities during this time? They were just letting you in limbo. You hadn't a clue what was going on.
And I wasn't asking no questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm only speaking unless directly spoken to. So, you know what I'm saying? They ain't saying nothing to me. I ain't saying nothing to them.
And were they wrong? Like, because I mean, making you sign something that you don't understand is illegal on their side. You know, they actually broke the law themselves by making you sign something you didn't understand. They should have had a translated document of it or a representative explaining everything to you.
Hey, that sound about right, but yeah, they ain't. And it's like, I don't understand why, you know what I'm saying, they was doing me like that. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, hey, bro, you was doing something you wouldn't have no business doing. So accountability at the end of the day. So just gotta hold yourself accountable, bro. Just take it to the chin. Take it to the chin. But
and then yeah, so basically after 14 days they kind of came in and
yeah, they came, called me and released me. Had me sign some more stuff and fingerprints, some more stuff I still couldn't read, and then took me to my apartment to pack up my stuff, and took me straight to the airport afterwards. And I was
you were basically deported straight away.
Yeah, deported and banned for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And who paid for the flight?
My mama.
Okay. So like, were they American authorities aware of what was going on, or for them it was just like a normal flight that it was just?
Oh, yeah, the embassy, the U.S. embassy knew what was going on, but we in China, ain't nothing they can do. They said that, like, I met with them and everything. That's chapter 10, I think. Yeah, I met with them. They was like, yeah, it's really nothing we can do on our end. We just here to make sure you're not being treated inhumanely. If that's not the case, good luck. You know what I'm saying? Like, longest you'll be here is 30 days max. So you'll get out of here eventually. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much. And we can notify people for you, your family members and stuff like that. That's pretty much all we can do.
So when did your mother become aware that, were you actually out when your mother became aware, or and other people around you? Because I mean, if you just disappeared, someone might think you've been kidnapped or anything. Like, what was happening around you with people you were working with and friends and stuff?
Yeah, and that was very chaotic. Of course, I have no clue what's going on the outside, but once I was free and stuff, that's when I learned. I'm like, man, it focus. Oh no, on the seventh day, chapter 7, we meet with the immigration dude. So this is the opportunity we get to use our phones to make contact with folks to see who can buy us a plane ticket, essentially. So of course I turned my phone on, and my messages, I'm talking, my phone is going crazy, it's going crazy. Like, folks just hit me up, calling me, like, just all in just complete distress. And of course I'm just focusing at this point in time, I'm just focusing on letting the folks I was smoking with a lot. I'm like, hey, bro, y'all folks lay low, man. Stop doing that shit. Like, hey, that shit dead, bro. Like, leave it alone. It ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting them folks know. Calling my girlfriend at the time. Don't get in contact with her just because of the time difference. And that's, and the immigration dude was like, hey, bro, you need to find somebody to buy you a ticket, bro. So I'm like, my mama can. So I called my mama. And I'm talking to her. I'm like, hey, what's going on, mom? She's like, you tell me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm locked up. She's like, yeah, I know. I got an email from the U.S. Embassy about it. She said, ironically, your brother's dropping me off at the airport right now. I'll be in Beijing tomorrow. So I'm like, damn. I'll be in Beijing. You know what I'm saying? So she flew out there, but it still wasn't nothing that she can do. Like, the immigration dude told me, I told him, like, hey, my mama said she's gonna be here tomorrow. He said, tell her to turn around. There ain't nothing she can do. You know what I'm saying? That's pointless. You know what I'm saying? Can she buy your ticket? I'm like, yeah, she can buy the ticket. But yeah, that's how that ended up happening. Yeah.
Like, I wonder what happens. I mean, you were lucky that you were in a position that your mother could buy, but I wonder what happens, because not everybody would be in that position. I wonder what happens when somebody, that they just don't have the funds, or nobody's going to, sometimes parents would be so pissed off with their child. They're like, they cut the ties at that moment because they're dealing on emotions. But, I wonder what they would do in that situation, that basically
you're just going to have to sit until you can find somebody to buy you a ticket, bro. And
it sounds like the terminal, that you'll be like staying in the airport for a few weeks. Like,
man, that's the worst part. It's like, damn, bro, you ain't got nobody buy your ticket, bro. You just gonna have to sit in there, bro. Sit, bro. And I'm like, I'm definitely ain't trying to be here no longer than I have to be. So you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's the story in a nutshell.
So the police are with you in your apartment as you have to empty everything out, or did they let you go and say, look, yeah? So there was
it was only one officer in the apartment with me. He was just sitting there, just staring off into space. He wasn't like his typical protocol for him, I guess. So it was like, it wasn't his first rodeo, so it wasn't nothing he was too, you know what I'm saying, engaged with. He just sitting there minding his business, waiting on me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, after I landed in America, so I ain't even start writing the book until like July 2019. I got home in April 2019, ain't started writing until July 2019. Finished writing it in November, and then published it on the anniversary date that I got arrested. So I got arrested on April 4th, 2019. I dropped the first book on April 4th, 2020. And I was ranked #1 on Amazon new bestseller in 3 different genres.
Nice, excellent. And when you flew into the States, were you kind of grilled there, or was it like not just like any other passenger?
That's a great question. When I met with the embassy, one of the characters I was with asked, would this follow us anywhere? And he was like, oh no, it'd be good. You won't be able to come back to China, but for a few years. But aside from that, there's someone follow you. Folks people wouldn't even know this happened to me if I didn't write the book and I wasn't promoting it. You know what I'm saying? Like this would have been just completely brushed up underneath the rug. So that's a plus, a benefit from it as well. You know what I'm saying? A positive. So
Well, it's
all
kind of
in all, it
teaching
was
people to be, because sometimes people think that can't happen. So one,
oh yeah.
if they are in China, they'll think twice before smoking. And like, obviously because probably people have been reaching out. Has it happened to a lot of people? Are you aware of others that the same thing has happened?
I've been told, like just from like people that I was talking to, like that they know people that that's been arrested, you know what I'm saying? And folks get arrested for anything out there. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't even gotta be drugs, like folks can get arrested for anything. So I've heard stories, but like far as knowing anybody else personally, um no, not really. Not really. But like and most people like the stories that I have heard, like they just like them people brush it up underneath the rug. They act like it don't even happen. I'm just like, damn, bro, I feel like that's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like to go through an experience like that and you just, you know what I'm saying, don't do nothing with it, like you just suppress it. I'm like, nah, bro, you gotta share that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta share that. Educate people, let people know. You know what I'm saying? You went through it for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So and then within 14 Days of Beijing is a whole book of just straight enlightenment, just from my perspective on life and my mindset, and then as well as my experiences, is you know what I'm saying, in addition to that. So you're gonna take a lot away from reading this story. You know what I mean? You're gonna learn a lot, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna think differently as well. Just because I offer just such a different perspective, just because how my mind is naturally. So I knew it was gonna be a great story. I knew it was gonna do well. I didn't think it was gonna go this crazy, but you know what I'm saying? It's for sure, for sure. But it's like, hey, man, it's like I turned the negative into a positive. You feel me? So it's like, I knew when I went out there, I'm like, I'm gonna get something from this experience, going to China, living. I'm gonna gain something. I'm gonna take something away, and it's gonna be beneficial to my life moving forward. Did I think it would be this? Hell no, but that's how it played out. You feel me? But you know what I'm saying? It was all in all, like, like I said, despite the last 14 days, China was amazing. And I was out there for 6 months total. So we talking the good up here, the bad way down here. So man, it's a large margin of difference. So I was like, hey man, all in all, it was a great experience. You know what I mean? Even if said now I done had time to writing the book helped me release all of that. So it's like I don't even hold on to it no more. Now I'm just telling the story. At this, you know what I'm saying, a crazy wild story at this point.
I think that's an important point with any pain that you go through, because if you can tell it without it hurting you, because sometimes people relive it and they're just constantly reliving the pain, and then it brings them down. And I think your mentality, I mean, I can see your positivity, and I've seen you on other shows as well. Like, I know that you're very upbeat and everything. And I think that's a very important factor. And I think it was probably your saving grace that you're so positive, because somebody else could go in there with a down, negative attitude who would attract more negative people, who in turn might make it not 14 days in Beijing, but might maybe 14 years, and who's to know? So I think, staying positive is a very important thing.
Factual. You say, man, you say that was very well said. That's very well said. And it's like, man, hey man, just keep going, man. Keep going. We all face our level of adversity. This quote that I live like that I enjoy a lot. It's called it says that adversity introduces a man to himself. You know what I'm saying? So best believe. You know what I'm saying? I learned and I grew from this experience, and I'm better because of it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So and just take everything as a lesson. You know what I'm saying? It's still a blessing when you learn it. So
Exactly. And you mentioned about, different people getting kind of arrested, or it is a friend of mine who's, I mentioned, lives in Singapore, and he was saying somebody he knows basically, because of not having a mask, got deported. So yeah, exactly. So I just, beware. And I mean, I know the craziness with this pandemic going on around the world. We just, unfortunately, we have to kind of comply to tyranny, but don't give them your spirits. Like, stay strong and just stay positive, because if you throw in the cards, they win. Don't let them win. Like, stay positive.
most importantly, man, do your research for every country you go to. Learn as much as you can, so you can, you know what I'm saying. You just all your T's is crossed, your I's is dotted, man. Because that's one thing I went wrong. I ain't know nothing about. I ain't take the time to learn anything about China. Nothing. I'm just like, man, this is gonna be an adventure. I'm just excited to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, yeah, bro. Yeah, I feel like you should definitely do your research before you.
No, it's very important. So the $1 million question: would you go back to China when your 5-year term is up?
If I was allowed, yes, just to bring everything full circle, bring everything back full circle. Yeah, I'd be like that. Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's complete closure. Honestly, I feel like I gained from it. And definitely just see what it's looking like now. You know what I'm saying? It's been a lot that's been changed since, you know what I'm saying, I've been gone, far as like the clubs and stuff. You like a lot of stuff is gone because of the pandemic. So I'm definitely curious to see what you know what I'm saying, what it's looking like now, especially walking
You
my
came
old
out of one prison and back into another.
man. What? Oh yeah, they definitely gonna be watching me this. I'm gonna apply to go to China for a visa. They gonna type my name into the system. Like, the computer gonna start flashing red, sirens gonna start going off. Them folks are, oh no, we gotta watch this dude right here on me. But yeah, I
I
definitely
just wondering, will you actually get your book translated into Chinese?
it's crazy. I already thought about that for sure, for sure. I already thought about it. I would do it. You know what I'm saying? Just because that's already an idea. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about doing a Spanish version and all different version in each language. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that would be dope. I definitely, it's a lot more projects that I want to do with 14 days. Definitely want to film. Like, people tell me all the time, like, bro, I could see this being a movie. I could see this being a TV show. Like, it's so crazy. So that's definitely an end goal of mine. Definitely want to do a movie or a film. I think anime would be dope as well. Anime would be hard. I think that'd be hard. That'd be so a comic book. I think that'd be hard too. That'd be fine. Well, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. So it's like, yeah, I got a lot of different ideas that I want to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Just step by step, step by step. You know
Well,
what I mean?
even a movie or whatever, the fact that you're able to articulate it into such detail is brilliant, because not everybody can do that. So, it's fantastic. And now that you have it on the book, it's out there, and someone might pick up on it and go, hey, this would be a great movie. So, I mean, to me, it would be something that I'd like to watch, because I mean, the story itself, just listening now, is very interesting. So I'd say, yeah, a movie be brilliant.
Well, we both have spoken into the universe, so it's like, hey, watch it appear. Just watch it appear. You know what I mean?
Listen, it's been thoroughly enjoyable talking to you. So how can people get in contact with you? And you might let them know the name of the book, even though it's written there, but just in case they're just listening, they wouldn't see it.
For sure, man. Uh, Chancellor K. Jackson. 14 days in Beijing. I want everybody to stop what you're doing right now and go to your pull up your phone, go to your internet browser and type in Google. And Google Chancellor K. Jackson or 14 days in Beijing. I'll pop right up. It's that simple. That's that.
With a very cool cover. I like the cover. It's it's a catchy. I'm big into marketing, and I see, yeah, that's a decent cover. That would grab your attention in a bookshelf. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to recreate. That's all I did was just recreate the mugshot essentially. So you know what I'm saying. I was like, damn, it'd be dope if I actually had the mugshot. And what? But I'm like, damn, I ain't. So I'm like, I just got to recreate. I had to recreate that jacket and everything. Like, yeah, just you know what I'm saying. Just definitely bring it to life. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it for sure, for sure. Appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'll put the link in the podcast description so people will be able to see it anyway. But listen, Chancellor, thank you very much. Really enjoyed the conversation.
I appreciate you. For sure.
Thanks. So that's all for the Awakening podcast. You'll find all our episodes on awakeningpodcast.org. As mentioned, we're on BitChute as well. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, 5-star rating. It all helps. Share with your friends. Until next week, take care.
Peace.